Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana yes. Let me start by condemning what happened on Monday, where we saw a group of hooligans invading Kenyatta's Northland farm and Raila Odinga's Spectre International. Those are acts of hooliganism that should not be encouraged in Kenya. Kenya is a country governed by the rule of law. Kenyans should resist and reject leaders perpetuating hooliganism. That aside, new details reaching us indicates that individuals who are spotted stealing goods and destroying property at Kenyatta's Northland farm are finding it very hard. Members of the public are smoking them out one by one. Have a look at this before we continue.
Police station.
Yes, that's one of the individuals who was spotted or found at Kenyatta's Northlands farm. And from some interpretations have been given here, he's trying to defend himself that he was sold to some animals. And we saw on Monday that upon those hooligans invading Kenyatta's farm, they stole goats, sheep, cut trees, and destroyed properties. Yes. So that's just one of those who might have been there on Monday. And you are seeing clearly the public is very angry and does not approve of what happened on Monday. And from the look of things, the mountain is becoming hot. The mountain is becoming hot. It's coming out very clearly that the mountain is fighting itself. The mountain is fighting itself. Before digging deep into that, let's listen to some words of wisdom from former Murang'a Governor, Mwangi wa Iria. Because Mwangi wa Iria has also given a very stern warning to the government. Listen to Wairia before we continue.
Times, intra-hatred. Tunauda jama kati yetu. Ebu tukachome kwa Kenyatta. Hiyo siku nyingine tukachome kwa Wairia. Hiyo siku nyingine tutafanya hivyo mpaka sasa tutaweka kasumba ya mtu akikosewa ama hataki mwingine ama hafikiri kama yeye anaenda kwake anachoma. Hiyo ni shauri gani? Kikuyus we must repent. And I said during campaigns, and people thought I was joking, there will be a curse in this nation of Kikuyu if we continue behaving the way we are behaving. We are not competing for any leadership. This issue, that issue is so heavy in people's hearts. It doesn't matter whether it's Kenyatta's farm, whether it's Ruto's farm, whether it's Wairia's farm, whether it's Mama Boga's farm. We cannot go that direction. And I want to beseech my people, the people of Kikuyu. We hate ourselves, we shall disappear. We have shown a very bad image to this nation that we can do that. You have people speaking Kikuyu and saying this goat is about 10,000. Someone is speaking Kikuyu coming from Kenyatta's farm, putting a goat here. Ai, hiyo ni korogwa. Hiyo tumerogwa haki. Na morogi ameenda bari. And I want now to speak frankly from my heart. And I want to speak about other communities. No one, you have had no one going to Gideon's farm to do that kind of rubbish. Because Gideon held a different position. Even in other communities, when you go to Luola, there are people taking different positions. You're not finding people going to Kidero's farm because Kidero does not agree with Raila. We are not fighting that. In course, you're not fighting that. The only nonsense which is left within our community here. We start fighting each other. I don't know who we want to please. And I'm glad that the head of state was not here. And I want...
Mwangi Wairia is making it very clear that the Kikuyu nation is cursed. Yes. If you look at those statements, all those remarks, they make some sense. And I've always maintained here that the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. In 2007, it's a fact, Uhuru Kenyatta single-handedly saved the mountain from alleged aggression from some quarters. The same people Uhuru Kenyatta saved have turned against him. And you are seeing they are now destroying his properties. I don't know how to describe that if not a curse. And from the look of things, I can foresee a situation where the mountain, they are going to the groups are going to emerge on the mountain. These groups most definitely will be fighting each other. We all know that Mwangi Wairia is seen as one of Rigathi Gachagwa's critiques on the mountain. Just some few months ago, Mwangi Wairia challenged Rigathi Gachagua to a political duel. And from where I sit, political competition should not turn personal. What happened to Uhuru Kenyatta is now politics being turned personal. And from the information we have so far gathered and what we have seen coming from the mainstream media, it's a fact. All that happened at Northland's farm and at Raila's Speta International, all those events were organized and sponsored by the government. And the main architects might have borrowed the exact things we saw in 2007 in Eldoret. And the architects must have borrowed the same script of what happened in Eldoret. And that should be condemned. And that's why I still maintain that Kenya, we are being ruled by goons and criminals masquerading as national leaders. That's a fact. That's a reality we must all accept as Kenyans. And looking at those statements and what we have seen with that individual being actually arrested by the people, the public, it's almost very certain that regarding Gachagua and his team, they are digging their political graves on the mountain. Instead of regarding bringing all leaders on the mountain together to speak in one voice, Rigathi is clearly dividing the mountain. And I won't be wrong to say it might be possible William Ruto himself might be using Rigathi Gachagua, knowing fully well that at the end of the day, Rigathi will be hated seriously on the mountain because he's coming out as a warlord, a leader just fueling tension, fueling division, and inciting individuals. That's something coming out very, very clearly. As I conclude, it's a factor now Kenyans should not take these things lightly. Ruto and his team, they have now proved beyond any reasonable doubt that they are not fit holding any public office. And if chapter 6 of our constitution was working properly, Ruto and his government ought to have been sent home as early as yesterday. And this is now where now the elected members of parliament should come in. But we are not seeing the members of parliament actually calling the government to order. They are silent, they are watering and manuring the government's impunity. Let me stop there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. Any other person who wants to support our channel, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number. Let's meet in our next analysis.